We fight it, claw against it, rail at its injustice. Fate, the relentless tide that pulls us along, sometimes the shores of paradise, more often the jagged rocks of despair. We spend our lives attempting to control the uncontrollable, to bend the unyielding will of existence to our fragile desires. But what if, instead of resisting the current, we learn to swim with it? What if, instead of fighting fate, we embraced it? This is the core of Amor Fati, a concept forged in the crucible of Nietzsche's philosophy, a radical idea that whispers of power and self-mastery. It's not merely passive resignation. It's an active, willful love of everything that has been, everything that is, and everything that will be. It is the acceptance, nay, the celebration of the totality of your existence. Imagine a life where every scar tells a story of survival, every heartbreak a lesson in resilience, every failure a stepping stone toward a greater understanding of yourself. This isn't about naive optimism. It's about confronting the brutal realities of life, the suffering, the loss, the crushing weight of existence, and finding within those very experiences the raw material for self-creation. Amor Fati demands a brutal honesty, a relentless self-examination, a willingness to confront the shadows that lurk within. This journey isn't for the faint of heart. It demands courage, a willingness to confront the darkness within and without. But within that darkness, within the crucible of suffering, lies a potential for a transformative fire, a forging of the spirit that will ultimately lead you to a place of unparalleled strength and understanding. This, my friends, is the path to the Übermensch, the one who transcends the limitations of ordinary humanity through the unwavering embrace of fate itself. The journey begins now. Embrace the inevitable. Love your fate. Society whispers a seductive lie that suffering is an anomaly, a malfunction in the grand design, something to be avoided at all costs. We are told to chase pleasure, to flee pain, to build walls against the inevitable storms of life. We are taught to fear suffering, to medicate it, to anesthetize ourselves against its sharp sting. But this, my friends, is a profound deception. Nietzsche, with his unflinching gaze into the abyss, saw through the societal veneer. He understood that suffering is not an enemy to be conquered, but a crucible in which the spirit is forged. It is a fire that tempers the steel of our will, the hammer that shapes our character, the anvil upon which our strength is tested and refined. To recoil from suffering is to reject a fundamental aspect of human existence, to deny the very process through which we become more than we were. It is to embrace a life of stunted growth, a life lived in the sterile comfort of unexamined existence. It is to choose a life of quiet desperation over a life of vibrant, albeit often painful, self-discovery. The path of Amor Fati is not a path of ease. It demands that we confront the full spectrum of human experience, the light and the shadow, the joy and the agony. It requires us to relinquish the childish fantasy of a life devoid of suffering, to accept that pain is not a sign of failure, but a testament to our resilience, a measure of our capacity to endure and ultimately to transcend. Only by embracing the full weight of our experiences, the darkness as well as the light, can we truly forge our own unique path toward self-mastery. The avoidance of suffering is the avoidance of growth. Choose wisely. Mere survival is not enough. To simply exist, to passively endure the blows of fate, is to live a life diminished, a life unfulfilled. Nietzsche saw beyond the basic instinct for self-preservation. He saw the potential for something far greater, something far more magnificent. He understood that the human spirit, when properly challenged, possesses an incredible capacity for growth, for transformation, for transcendence. Suffering, in Nietzsche's view, is not merely an obstacle to be overcome. It is the very catalyst for this transformation. It is the crucible in which the weak are purged and the strong are forged. It is a tempest that reveals the true strength of the human spirit, the unyielding will that refuses to be broken. Consider the oak tree, battered by relentless winds, its branches scarred by lightning, its roots grappling with unforgiving soil. Does it simply survive? Or does it rise stronger, taller, more resilient than before? The human spirit, like the oak, can be strengthened by adversity, can grow taller and more powerful in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. This is not a passive process. It requires active engagement, a conscious choice to confront suffering, to learn from it, to grow from it. It requires a willingness to embrace the pain, to wrestle with the darkness, to emerge from the struggle not merely intact, but profoundly transformed. It is a conscious choice to move beyond mere survival, to strive for something greater, to become the master of one's own destiny, to become the Übermensch. This is the essence of Amor Fati, the active embrace of all that life throws our way, transforming suffering into strength, into wisdom, into a life lived to its fullest potential. The Übermensch. The word itself resonates with power, with a defiance of the ordinary, with a transcendence of the limitations imposed by conventional morality and societal norms. It is not a being born of privilege or divine right, but forged in the fires of self-overcoming, a testament to the indomitable human spirit. It is a culmination of a life lived fully, a life embraced in all its complexity, a life where suffering has not been avoided but conquered, transformed into the very essence of strength. This is not a utopian ideal, a fantasy to be chased in a land of milk and honey. It is a challenging, often brutal, path, demanding unwavering self-honesty, relentless self-examination, and a willingness to confront the darkest corners of one's own being. It is a journey of constant self-improvement, a relentless striving to become more than you are, to surpass your limitations, to reach for a higher state of being. The Übermensch is not defined by the absence of suffering, but by its mastery. It is the individual who has not only endured hardship, but has emerged from it stronger, wiser, more resilient. It is the individual who has embraced the totality of their existence, the triumphs and the failures, the joys and the sorrows, the light and the shadow, and has woven them into a tapestry of self-understanding. Amor Fati is the indispensable key to unlocking this potential. It is the unwavering acceptance, the unflinching embrace of all that life has to offer, both the beautiful and the terrible. Only by fully accepting every aspect of our experience, the good and the bad, can we truly integrate them into our being, forging ourselves into something stronger, something more complete, something more. The journey to the Übermensch begins not with the pursuit of happiness, but with the embrace of fate itself. The path is arduous, but the reward is beyond measure. Two paths diverge in the woods of life. One leads to a shadowed valley of resentment, regret, and bitterness, the path of resistance. The other ascends to sun-drenched heights of self-mastery, resilience, and inner strength, the path of integration. Which will you choose? The path of resistance is paved with the broken dreams of those who fight against the inevitable tide of fate. They rail against injustice, blame external forces for their misfortunes, and wallow in the mire of victimhood. They see suffering as an affront, a personal tragedy, a testament to the cruelty of the universe. Their lives become a testament to what could have been a symphony of what-ifs and should-haves, a constant battle against a reality they refuse to accept. Consider the artist whose talent is unrecognized, consumed by bitterness and self-pity, never realizing the power they hold within themselves to define their own success. The path of integration, however, is a different story altogether. It is a path of those who embrace the totality of their experience, who see suffering not as an enemy but as a teacher, a crucible forging their character, strengthening their resolve. They do not deny the pain, but learn from it, using it as fuel to propel themselves forward. They do not shy away from the darkness, but confront it, extracting wisdom and strength from its depths. Consider the athlete who overcomes a debilitating injury, not with resentment, but with renewed determination, returning to competition stronger and more focused than ever before. This is the power of Amor Fati, the transformative power of embracing what is, of integrating fate into the very fabric of your being. Choose wisely. The path you choose shapes your destiny. The past is not a fixed entity, a monolithic block of immutable events. It is a malleable substance capable of being reshaped, reinterpreted, and ultimately transmuted. The power to rewrite your past, to transform its traumas and setbacks into catalysts for growth, lies not in denial or avoidance, but in the conscious act of reevaluation to the lens of Amor Fati. This is not about romanticizing suffering or pretending that pain didn't hurt. It's about recognizing that every experience, regardless of its intensity or unpleasantness, has shaped you, molded you, made you who you are today. Those experiences, even the most harrowing, have contributed to your strength, resilience, and wisdom. To deny their impact is to deny a fundamental aspect of your own being. Consider a past failure, a shattered dream, a relationship gone sour. Instead of viewing these events as insurmountable obstacles, as insurmountable defeats, consider them as crucial lessons, valuable stepping stones on your journey towards self-mastery. What did you learn? What strengths did you discover within yourself? What adaptations did you make? What new perspectives did you gain? These experiences, once sources of pain and frustration, can be reframed as opportunity for growth, as powerful catalysts for positive change. This process of reinterpretation is not passive. It requires active engagement, a conscious effort to examine your past experiences with new perspective, to find the hidden lessons, the unexpected gifts, the seeds of future growth. It is the active embrace of your entire history, the good and the bad, the triumphs and the failures, weaving them together into a tapestry of self-understanding. It is the art of transforming pain into wisdom, of turning wounds into scars that tell a story of resilience, of transformation. This is the true power of Amor Fati. The victim mentality is a cage, a self-imposed prison built from resentment, regret, and the illusion of helplessness. It is a passive existence, a life lived at the mercy of external forces, a constant state of reaction rather than action. But within each of us lies a potential to break free from this cage, to shatter the illusion of powerlessness, and to forge a new identity, the identity of the victor. This transformation, this profound shift from victimhood to victory, is not a matter of luck or circumstance. It is a conscious choice, a deliberate act of will, an embrace of personal agency. It is a choice to take ownership of your life, to acknowledge the power you hold within yourself to shape your destiny, to transform suffering into strength. Amor Fati offers the key to this transformation. It is not a passive acceptance of fate, but an active engagement with it, a conscious decision to use every experience, even the most painful, as a catalyst for growth. It is the understanding that your life is not a series of random events, but a narrative you are actively writing, shaping, and defining. You are the author of your own story, and the pen is in your hand. This is not to say that the path will be easy. It demands courage, self-awareness, and an unwavering commitment to self-improvement. But the journey is far more rewarding than the destination. The process of transforming pain into power, of turning wounds into wisdom, is a powerful act of creation, a testament to the indomitable human spirit. It is a journey of becoming the master of your own destiny, the architect of your own life. It is a journey from victim to victor, a journey only you can undertake. Embrace the power within. The path to Amor Fati is not a passive one. It demands active cultivation, a conscious effort to reshape your relationship with your experiences. It is a journey of self-discovery, a process of constant refinement and growth. Here are some practical steps to guide you on this transformative path. Begin with mindfulness. Cultivate a state of present awareness, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. This allows you to recognize patterns of resistance, to identify the places where you are clinging to the past or fearing the future. Through mindful observation, you begin to detach from these limiting beliefs, creating space for a more accepting and integrated perspective. Journaling is another powerful tool. Regularly write about your experiences, both positive and negative, exploring your emotions and identifying the lessons learned. This process of reflection allows you to reframe setbacks, to extract meaning and wisdom from even the most painful experiences. It's not about avoiding difficult emotions. It's about understanding them, integrating them, and transforming them. Challenge your negative self-talk. When confronted with adversity, actively challenge the negative narratives that arise. Reframe setbacks as opportunity for growth, focusing on what you have learned and how you have grown stronger as a result. Cultivate self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend facing similar challenges. Acknowledge your struggles without judgment, recognizing that everyone experiences hardship and that these experiences are not a reflection of your inherent worth. These practices, consistently applied, will gradually transform your relationship with suffering, allowing you to embrace your entire life, both its joys and its sorrows, as integral aspects of your unique and powerful journey. The path to Amor Fati begins with a single step, a conscious choice to engage with your experiences, to learn from them, and integrate them into the very fabric of your being. Begin now. The human ego clings desperately to the illusion of control. We crave certainty, predictability, a sense of mastery over our lives and the world around us. But life, in its magnificent chaos, is inherently unpredictable, a relentless current carrying us towards an unknown future. To resist this current, to fight against the inevitable tides of change and uncertainty, is to invite suffering and despair. Amor Fati offers a radical alternative. Instead of striving for control over external events, a futile endeavor, we cultivate control over our internal response to those events. This is where true power lies, not in manipulating the world to conform to our desires, but in mastering our own minds and hearts, in cultivating an unwavering inner resilience. Embracing uncertainty is not about passivity or resignation. It's about cultivating a deep acceptance of the unknown, a recognition that life's course is not always linear, that setbacks and challenges are inevitable, and that these experiences are not random occurrences but integral components of a richer, more meaningful existence. This embrace of uncertainty unlocks a profound freedom. It frees us from the anxiety of striving for a constantly elusive sense of control, allowing us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our reactions. It allows us to meet life's challenges with courage and resilience, not with fear and resistance. This is the essence of Amor Fati, not the control of fate, but the mastery of self, the unwavering acceptance of what is, and the unwavering commitment to becoming the best version of yourself, regardless of external circumstances. Embrace the uncertainty. It is a crucible in which true strength is forged. Life, viewed through the lens of Amor Fati, is not a linear progression towards a predetermined destination, but a complex, often chaotic journey of growth and transformation. The meaning we seek is not found in some distant, idealized future, but in the very act of navigating this journey, in embracing the challenges, the setbacks, the uncertainties that define our experience. The pursuit of a singular, predefined meaning often leads to disappointment and disillusionment. Life's richness lies in its multifaceted nature, its constant flux, its capacity to surprise and challenge us. To embrace Amor Fati is to embrace this inherent complexity, to find meaning not in a fixed goal, but in the journey itself, in the constant process of becoming. Each experience, regardless of its perceived value or outcome, contributes to the tapestry of your life. Suffering, hardship, and setbacks are not obstacles to be overcome, but integral threads woven into the fabric of your being. They shape your character, hone your resilience, and deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. The meaning is not in avoiding the storm, but in learning to navigate its turbulent waters, to emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient. This perspective shifts the focus from the external pursuit of meaning to an internal cultivation of meaning. It's about finding meaning in the process of growth, in the constant striving towards self-mastery, in the acceptance of your entire life, with all its complexities and contradictions, as a source of profound and enduring meaning. The journey itself becomes a destination, a testament to your unwavering spirit and the indomitable strength of the human will. Embrace the chaos. Within it lies the seed of your truest meaning. Resilience isn't the absence of hardship. It's the ability to navigate hardship, to emerge from adversity stronger and more resourceful. Amor Fati is not a shield against suffering, but forged where resilience is tempered and refined. By embracing all aspects of life, the triumphs and the tragedies, the joys and the sorrows, we cultivate an inner strength that allows us to weather any storm. When we resist suffering, we build walls around our hearts, walls that protect us from pain, but also from growth. We become brittle, easily broken by the inevitable challenges life throws our way. But when we embrace suffering, when we acknowledge its transformative power, we build not walls but muscles of the mind and spirit that enable us to withstand immense pressure and emerge stronger on the other side. Amor Fati is the art transforming adversity into opportunity, of viewing setbacks not as failures but as valuable lessons, stepping stones on a path to self-mastery. Each challenge, each hardship, strengthens our resolve, deepens our understanding of ourselves, and expands our capacity for empathy and compassion. This is not to say that embracing Amor Fati will magically erase suffering. Pain will still be felt, setbacks will still occur, but the way we respond to these experiences will be fundamentally different. Instead of being overwhelmed by adversity, we will meet it with a quiet strength, a deep-seated understanding that even the darkest moments contribute to the richness and depth of our lives. This is the essence of resilience forged in the fires of Amor Fati. Embrace the storms. They are the architects of your unwavering strength. Amor Fati is not a passive resignation to fate. It is an active embrace of life's totality, a defiant declaration of self-mastery in the face of adversity. It is a path that demands courage, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to self-improvement. It is a darkly empowering journey, one that confronts the shadows within and without, transforming them into sources of strength and wisdom. This path is not for the faint of heart. It requires confronting your deepest fears, acknowledging your vulnerabilities, and accepting the full spectrum of human experience, the light and the darkness, the joy and the sorrow, the triumph and the tragedy. It demands a willingness to delve into the depths of your being, to unearth the hidden reservoirs of strength and resilience that lie dormant within. The darkness is not something to be avoided or feared. It is a crucible in which the spirit is forged, a catalyst for growth and transformation. It is in the depths of despair that we discover the boundless capacity for hope, the unwavering strength of the human spirit. Embrace the darkness. It is the fertile ground from which true empowerment springs. Amor Fati is not about accepting suffering passively. It's about actively engaging with it, learning from it, and transforming it into fuel for your journey. It is about finding meaning and purpose not in avoiding hardship, but in confronting it head-on, in extracting wisdom and strength from even the most challenging experiences. This is the darkly empowering path of Amor Fati, a journey of self-discovery, self-mastery, and ultimate transformation. Embrace the challenge. It is the path to your ultimate power. The external world is a tempestuous sea, a relentless current of unpredictable events beyond our control. But within you lies a still point, a center of unwavering strength. Your capacity to choose your response, to master your internal world. This is where true power resides, not in manipulating external circumstances, but in cultivating an unshakable inner resilience. Amor Fati is the ultimate act of self-mastery. It's not about passively accepting whatever life throws your way. It's about actively choosing how you will meet those challenges, how you will interpret those experiences, how you will shape your own narrative. It's about forging your own destiny, not by controlling external events, but by mastering your internal response to them. This is not a path of easy answers or quick fixes. It demands courage, self-awareness, and a relentless commitment to personal growth. It requires confronting your deepest fears, your most painful memories, and your most ingrained self-limiting beliefs. But the rewards are immeasurable. A life lived with purpose, resilience, and an unwavering sense of self-worth, regardless of external circumstances. You are the master of your own destiny, the architect of your own experience. The power to transform your life, to transcend suffering, to become the best version of yourself, lies not in changing the world around you, but in mastering the world within. Embrace this power. Embrace Amor Fati. Your journey begins now.